Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Lara Waldman. I am the Abundance Activator and I have the great pleasure of introducing you to Marianne Hartley. Welcome Marianne, it's very lovely to have you with us today.
It's wonderful to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Lara.
You're very welcome. So I'm going to introduce Marianne to you. So Marianne is an Anglo-Swiss branding designer who set up Hartley Soul to bring two of her passions together, healing and design. She creates beautiful designs for visionary business leaders who are passionate about what their company stands for and passionate about delivering a unique brand experience to their customers. With over 20 years experience in the design industry, Marianne has worked for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee pageant, companies like Toyota, Bacardi, Intercontinental Hotels, luxury brands, startups, and with visionary entrepreneurs. She is passionate about the mind, body, spirit connection and believes that beauty is healing. Her designs help her clients take their stories out into the world and successfully attract customers. Awesome! I love that. That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's begin by speaking about what is branding for anyone who doesn't know what that is. Let's just start off there.
Great. It's a great question, and I get asked it quite a lot because it's abstract in one level and very concrete in the other. So your brand is everything that's visible about your business and also the things that aren't. So for example, a key element of obviously of your brand is your logo, it's the colors you use, it's the imagery, it's the font, and it's the language. So the words, and it touches all the senses. So for example, your brand is also what people say about you when you're not around. So they're the more intangible parts. And you know that your brand is successful when there's recognition. So basically when people either see your website or your business card and they know it's you, they sort of recognize you in it. And so whether they come across you at a meeting or whether they come across you online or whether they hear your voice, there's a congruency that has the same message wherever they come across you. So that's really key with branding.
Very interesting. And I'm thinking of all the ways that I might not be in line with all those things. So that's really awesome. So thank you for clarifying what branding is. What is branding alignment? Because you talk about being aligned with your brand, don't you?
Yeah.
What would you say that is?
So for me, brand alignment is when, sometimes it can be with a project, or you might remember it when you were employed in a company and you might have liked certain aspects of the company, but not others. So when you were going out to meet people and you were handing out your business card about that company, there was something that didn't feel quite right because maybe there were parts of what the company did that didn't feel aligned with you. So it might have even been the look of the logo or the font that was used for the business card that you just felt, or you knew the website was out of date and actually needed updating and it wasn't representing the company or what you did in a true light. So the brand alignment it's really the niggles, and we all have them at times because there's always something that needs to be either adapted or changed, and because our business changes with us. So I, for example, go to networking events and there's so many amazing businesses and people doing amazing things. And I get very inspired when I hear people speaking. But sometimes what happens is I receive the business card and then that doesn't really fit what the person has been sharing. And that's a misalignment. So it's like what the message that is coming across and actually the physical expression of it just in the business card already doesn't align. So it may be that, I started talking about when you're employed for a company, because that has happened to me when I was an employee. and I didn't really like the company logo so much, and I didn't like giving out my card. But or sometimes when you start up your own a new product or your own business, it's a bit of a minefield to know how do you put yourself out there in the world, and what do you stand for. So having the name of your company, having the logo, and having the colors and the imagery that really represents you as your values and what you stand for is key. And that's so brand alignment is when all the elements from the wording, from the logo that you use, the colors, are all in alignment and are a true representation of you and of what you stand for in the world.
So that's beautiful. What would you say is the impact to someone who doesn't have their branding in alignment? Like, for example, that woman you met who then handed you the card and it wasn't really aligned. How does that affect our business, would you say?
I think it can have a huge impact, because when your brand is aligned, then you attract the right customers for you. You attract the right employees. You attract opportunities, because it's like it's in true alignment with who you are. So there's no blockages anywhere. When the card doesn't represent your business or your values truly, other people won't be able to get you. So it means that I think there's a lot of lost opportunities, and they're like misrepresentations. And that means that if your card doesn't do you justice or what you do, then you've potentially lost a customer, or you've lost employees. I've got a good example actually of IP lawyer who was running a fairly successful practice, and she asked me to do a rebrand for her because she wanted to move from more traditional IP law to online, because a lot of businesses are moving online, and she was really interested in protecting online businesses. So the new brand needed to represent the more online nature. So we did the rebrand, and she said to me afterwards, I asked her about 6 months later, how it had impacted her, and she said, well, nothing in the way we do business has changed, but we've doubled our turnover, and we've got amazing employees. We've got graduates from Cambridge and Oxford who want to work with us, and we always struggled to attract the right employees before, because obviously her image wasn't representing what she was doing right. And she was really quite amazed that branding could have such an impact, because she thought it was just a picture.
Yeah.
But it actually embodies it's like your company's DNA. It's like the life force of your energy.
Wow. Yeah. So my next question was going to be, what's like the deeper underlying thing that's going on with alignment? So we're talking, just colors and fonts, but what's happening on an energetic level with branding alignment? Because I have this feel, I just got goosebumps when you're talking about that woman, that there's something much, much deeper going on in the unseen realms. Would you be able to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, let's go and explore. So, I believe that everything is energy, and it's nothing new. I'm not the first one to say that, and I think it might have even been Albert Einstein who said, everything is energy, and we're constantly communicating with our surrounding. Actually, we're picking up things that feel good, things that don't feel so good, and we're constantly in communication, actually, on a more energetic level, which may sound a bit odd, but it's something that really struck me actually when I was a teenager, and that was one of the drives to study design, was that I was walking down the street and seeing all these images, and they didn't make me feel very good. And I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if the things you saw on a daily basis actually made you feel great and sort of inspired you to remember who you truly are. Yeah. Sorry. That usually gets me, but yeah, it gets through quite quickly. But it's basically the underlying of having an aligned brand is actually a design that carries your unique energy. It's all shiny around you. You might it's something we may cut out after.
No way.
I just need a breath. So basically, I might have got lost in my explanation a bit, but so visuals, basically, when what we look at has an impact on us, like a physical impact on us. So you might have, I'm sure you've noticed, you walk into a space and you feel instantly at ease. And you've had times when you've walked into a space and felt really uncomfortable straight away, and you don't really know why. Yes. And that's really, I mean, it's got to do with, it might be the ceiling was really low, or the light wasn't right, or there was too many objects, or just the energy that felt weird, and there was no one in the room. So, we pick things up consciously or unconsciously. We do. And so looking at something that is beautiful actually lifts our vibration up and increases our energy and makes us feel good. And I haven't got scientific proof about this, but I'm sure there's, more. It actually strengthens the immune system because there's more energy and more life force going through our body. So the idea of having an aligned brand is that it's a brand that stands for who you truly are. And each time you look at it, it's like a recognition, and it's like, oh yes, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because it's like a reminder. Because we also have, we all have days, I have them when we don't really want to get out of bed. But when you have a brand that reminds you of why you're doing what you're doing, it's like, yes, of course, it can also be like it's a real support.
Wow, that's so awesome. And I love that there's a deeper impact going on with branding, that actually can make an impact on people and on the world.
Well, my sense, to be honest, is that most of the advertising is based on our sense of lack and not being good enough. And that's why, it's always a drive forward and a drive for more. And I think that's what I was picking up as a teenager. It's like you have to look a certain way, or you have to own certain things in order to be okay. But that's like that sense of not being enough is sort of part of humanity. I think we all have it to certain degrees, and some more than others. But that's what advertising is sort of based on. And I was like, well, I don't like that. I'm sure there's a way of sharing what we do in a constructive way, and in a way that actually makes us feel better, And because it's great to have beautiful things, but things won't ever fulfill us in themselves, unless we feel good. So I'm not anti-buying. It's not that at all. But I'm about creating designs and brands that are sort of a true expression of your inner values. So it's not something external that's going to fix that.
Wow. Awesome. So it's really, I'm just hearing the word enlightened marketing, that it's really transforming the way that we are actually sharing our work in the world and how we're doing business. That's really next level. So how does someone get aligned with their brand? And obviously you help people do this. You walk people through this. What is the process to helping someone get aligned with their brand? How do we go about doing that?
So really, before I start on anything, sort of on any designs, I always spend a day with my clients asking them lots of questions. And it's a bit like a deep, it's quite a deep exploration. And it goes quite broad. So at times you wonder why I'm asking these questions, but it's really to sort of get an overall sense of the essence. And so there's lots of questions. It's, for example, you know, what do you stand for? Who do you want to attract? Why you do what you're doing? And knowing these things actually get us to our core and our center. And then once that is connected, you know, nothing can take us off balance, because we know why we're doing it. So, so when the brand is aligned with that, then it flows and it attracts the right customers.
That is very, very cool. Oh, it just makes my whole body feel relaxed. And would you say there's something coming up for me that may not be something that everyone relates to, but is there something about the willingness to be visible, to really show up in your business around branding alignment? Is there something about being willing to really share the truth of who you are here?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I guess all my clients are people who are passionate about what they do and want to have make a positive difference in, you know, whatever shape or form. It can be small, it can be very large. And it is sharing our truth. It's otherwise you can't be aligned if it doesn't come from your center.
Right.
Otherwise it's just an idea that you impose on something. And I think some designs are also like this, that it's sort of like a sticker, but it doesn't contain the essence.
Wow, that is so cool. What awesome work you're doing.
Thank you.
So I imagine that there's people listening who would love to find out more about this and maybe even receive some support from you. So if Marianne has very kindly offered viewers of this interview to a free 20-minute and a mini brand alignment session. So you're very welcome to contact Marianne via her website. The link will be below this video, and send her an email and you can schedule your free 20-minute mini session. And she also has workshops.
Not everything's free.
Very affordable. But the dates aren't set yet. So if you want to come to one of her workshops, sign up to her newsletter that's on her website, and you'll be updated with those events, those dates when they're ready.
Great.
Marianne, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure to hear about your gifts and your wisdom and why this is so important. So make sure to reach out to Marianne and get some support with your branding alignment. And thanks once again for joining us. It's been a great pleasure hearing from you and learning from you today.
Thank you, Lara. It's been wonderful to be with you. Thank you.
You're welcome.